It's the classic American learning environment, a place where words of wisdom are handed down from one generation to the next, where personal experience of the day are rewound, summarized, and given detailed review by a team of experts. That's right, Mom and Dad. If you can't figure it out already, we're talking about the kitchen table at home, and it's dinner time. For those of you not familiar with this type of education, it's the time in the learning process for elaboration and memory formation. The children, often older brother and younger sister, have spent the day acquiring new information through various stimulation. And now is the time for them to orally review that which they remember for their parents. This is done verbally through spoken language and inflection, but it is also done non-verbally with body language and with the help of props and visuals such as forks, spoons, and mashed potatoes. The parents, of course, are required to assess meaning and importance from what information they can glean. They will assist in organizing by relevance, elaborate from personal experience, and may even assist in the formation of storage and long-term memory through positive or negative reinforcement. Once again, this is all done verbally and with body language. Props may be used. This approach to home education by millions of parents is what some might refer to as a left brain approach. It is verbal, analytical, and logical. There is no preparation or priming in this process, as the actual experiences are achieved outside this learning environment. However, this technique may prime the child for further independent and intrapersonal research into the subject matter. Another negative aspect to this type of education is its repetitiveness. The only change to the formula occurs when unexpected stimuli is introduced to a family member and its relevance discussed at the dinner table. Another opportunity is when a guest arrives, and that guest provides new information, elaboration, or a peer assessment. Lastly, when the environment is changed, such as having dinner at a new location other than the kitchen table. While infrequent, all these changes tend to be memorable novelties to help instill information in long-term memory. Renowned brain-based theorists do not consider this method ideal. If anything, it should be considered a priming approach to a larger educational process, assisted and monitored by the parents. However, even with the parents not assisting in the entire process, there are ways to turn this situation into a better priming approach that adds novelty to every dinner. Within brain-based planning, the dinner table is a perfect priming point. It offers the chance for children to review with their parents' ideas, get approval, personal commentary of experience, not to mention their respect for the task at hand to help increase self-esteem. This is the place for pre-exposure and preparation. Within this structure, preparation for learning can really begin. The keys to creating the right learning environment for the brain may start with the brain itself. First is the reduction of stress. Positive reinforcement for parents can have a calming effect, assuring children they have nothing to worry about and that they are capable of handling the task at hand. While at the same time negative stress can be reduced, parents help reinforce positive stress or estress, such as the need to complete their work in order to receive the same parental approval. Parental approval is a powerful tool and one that should be wielded carefully. The second addresses nutritional needs. This is, after all, the dinner table, and a healthy body is a healthy mind. Eating right before focusing on an independent education in your room is essential. Taking in tricosine-rich foods or protein is important, as it helps to build neurotransmitters. Just remember, everything in moderation. Too much of one item, such as sugar, may actually reduce cognitive functions, which doesn't mean removing something completely from your menu. After all, a balanced diet is important. The last is hydration. The brain is about 70% water and very sensitive to pH balance. Drink as much water as possible. Sodas, coffee, tea are fine in moderation, but water is preferable because it offers the most balanced pH levels. Milk is also a great option, offering you more calcium. Orange juice is not. As you can see, priming in this environment offers many opportunities for change. What you choose to eat and drink, as well as the dynamics of what occurs at the dinner table. Furthermore, while we have stated much of what can occur at the dinner table could be considered a left brain approach, it can be altered into a whole brain approach. Evidence has shown the right part of our brain processes much of the nuances in communication, such as inflection, tonality, and volume. So while we may be using much of our left brain in communication, we are also using the right side for the subtler details. In other words, we all try to read between the lines, especially when it comes to talking to our parents, and that suggests a whole brain approach. Of course, for best communication, this means both creating a discussion dialogue at the dinner table as well as engaging in conversation. If no one talks, there's no communication. If only the parents talk, the children listen, then there is little dialogue and little engagement for the children. As some might say, you hear me, but you don't listen. Children need to be an active participant to create this whole brain approach. In conclusion, while the dinner table is a very repetitive learning environment we sit down to every day, it doesn't have to be. Just as we can change what we have for dinner, we can change the type of conversations we have. We can stimulate learning through anecdotal stories, discussions of things we've learned that day, applying them to personal experience, role-playing future outcomes, and other creative methods that keep everyone engaged in the conversation. And remember, the dinner table can also be one of the most open and accepting places to say things, as long as you work to make it that way. After all, if you can't talk to your family, who can you talk to?